All right, for your next homework assignment, I'm going to ask you to do two things. All right, well, I guess you didn't have to do that, so we don't talk about that one either. The first part of your assignment is I want you, this is in your book, but I want you to do numbers 17 and 18. It's the same program. You just add stuff to it. All right? Write a program that generates a random number. I want the number to be between 1 and 100. Don't just generate a random integer because that will be between negative 2 billion and positive 2 billion. All right? I guess you could do that and you could play for the rest of your life. All right? But I don't think that would be all that fun. Okay. So make it be between 1 and 100 and ask the user to guess what the number is. If the guess is too high, display a message that says too high, try again. If it's too low, display a message that says too low, try again. The program, as it says, should use a loop that repeats until the user correctly guesses the random number. All right. Then for number 18, you enhance the program so that it keeps track of the number of guesses the user has made. So not only can you tell them you guessed the random number of 51, all right, and it took you 7 guesses, type of an idea. All right. Now, if you want to, when you're testing it, you can make it as simple as you want. You can make it between the number between 1 and 10. Much easier to win that way. All right. But if you've never heard the old rule for this, and I've explained this before, but I don't know if I did in this class or not, that if I say it's between 1 and 100, let's just assume I'm going to make a number up. It's 73. I always, when I play this game, I always start with 50. All right. So it's going to say too low, try again. So in one guess, I've eliminated 50% of the possibilities. All right, so now I'm going to take what's left, all right, which is 50 to 100, and I'm going to guess half of that, which is 75. And it's going to say that's too high. So now in 2 guesses, all right, basically 3/4 of my numbers are gone. I know after 2 guesses that the value must be between 51 and 74. So I grab half of that and do it again. When you do that, you can guess it in about 5 or 6 guesses max. All right, or you can just play it, just randomly throw it. I mean, you literally could make random guesses at a random number if you wanted to do that, but you might never guess it that way. All right. The other thing that I want you to do is I want you to go back to that BMI program, because I didn't think this was a good one to use for files, but I want you to go back to that BMI program, and I want you to take and basically add the kind of stuff that we added in this one. So I want all the results to be written not just to the screen, but I want you to write them to a file. All right? And I don't care how you do that. If it makes more sense to you, if you want to add stuff to the program, you can. You don't have to. But if you wanted to add stuff to the program that said something along the lines of, enter your first name and your last name. All right, so you had better information. Otherwise, you're just going to have height, weight, BMI, BMI status. Height, weight, BMI, BMI status. So if you wanted it to be a little bit more reminiscent of maybe something you'd use, if somebody had their own, gym or whatever, all right, you can do that. Again, you don't have to do that, but you can do that. Now, if you think I went over that too fast or you didn't get it or whatever, as always, if you go out, you don't have to do this right now, but if you go out to the P drive for the class under the homework folder, there it is. So this is the one I added. All right, hand in the following folders with the files inside. BMI with file output, as I just explained, and programs 417 and 418. You don't have to do 417 and 418 as 2 different programs. If you wanted to for some reason, you could, but I don't really see any value in doing that. All right, I'm a little behind on grading, so all your stuff will be graded, and it'll all be out there by Monday, everything that you've got due for me so far. All right, and also what I've done is if you look in here, please start doing this, okay? Not because I put them out there, but for instance, I put comments and stuff out here, and start using those. Get used to putting comments, at least put a prologue in there into your program, all right? I will tell you that we have a guy, his name is Ross Bradley, all right? He's been working at the headquarters for Fleet Farm for about, at least a dozen years. And when he started there, I got him an internship there as a programmer. And he asked me when we drove over there together, and he said, "Do you think I should bring some of my code?" I said it couldn't hurt. And I knew he always did a good job of documenting his code. All right, and Brian Ziegler, who's the head programming guy there, he was looking through it and he said, you know how to document. Now, did that help him get a job? I don't have any clue, but I don't think it hurt. All right, you really should get used to documenting a program, putting program documentation in. And a good litmus test is should I put a comment here or not? If you have to ask that question, you probably need a comment there. And again, you comment for two types of people. You comment for anyone else who's going to maintain your code in the future, and you comment for yourself, because if you do something, especially if you do it in a different way, and you go back and look at it months later, you don't have a clue as to why you did it that way. All right, so I'd like you to get used to doing that. So again, that is your next assignment. Any questions on that? So next week will be lab all week, and as it says in here someplace, so that's due. It's kind of shorter, but I think everybody can do this. This program isn't that much of a stretch from the one that you just did. All right? There's no questions. I'm finished.